I feel lucky, and I know my 12-year-old self would feel, my God, you lucky son of a bitch, you actually did it.
Shawn, we have to stop meeting like this. How you doing?
I know, maybe eventually in the same room, but in the meantime, I'm good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. What I love about your projects and this movie especially is you're crafting these new worlds and these new fandoms for people to embrace. What was the toughest thing about conceiving this world in the Adam Project?
I think the biggest challenge was to come up with ways of doing time travel and the future that we haven't seen before, because it's a very well harvested genre, right? Futuristic time travel, but it's not Terminator. It's not 13 going on 30. It's not any number of other time travel movies. So just coming up with weaponry, aircraft, costumes that don't feel derivative of other things. In fact, we make fun of the pitfalls by having the kid compare the weapon to a lightsaber, when in fact it doesn't even look that much like a lightsaber, because I didn't want to get sued. But I knew, coming up with the emotion of this movie, that was not hard. Coming up with the comedy was not that hard. Casting it wasn't that hard. Everyone said yes quickly. But coming up with a way to do this time travel, futuristic genre in a way that felt fresh, that was the biggest challenge.
I love, I'm thinking about what would I say to my 12-year-old self if I met them, which made me curious. What would your 12-year-old self think about everything you're doing right now?
I almost feel silly saying this, but since you asked the question honestly, I'll give you an honest answer. My 12-year-old self would think that this life I'm living is awesome, which is kind of how I feel, because this is what I dreamed of, that I would leave Canada, go to the movie business, tell stories, somehow make a living at it, much less flourish at it. So I feel lucky, and I know my 12-year-old self would feel, my God, you lucky son of a bitch, you actually did it. It hasn't been without a lot of work since I was 12, but this is very much the outcome I dreamed of.
And you kind of have to have that pinch me moment, I would imagine, where you're like, I have Elektra, Deadpool, Gamora, and Hulk in a movie together.
My life is filled with pinch me moments. And the minute I stop having pinch me moments means I'm taking it for granted. And that's probably the day I'll stop waking up hungry. It hasn't happened yet, and I hope it never does.
I love your collaborations with Ryan Reynolds. I absolutely loved Free Guy. I'm curious, it seems like the momentum is only building. I'm curious, what is next? Is Free Guy 2 in the works at this point? Will that be your next project? Will it be something else?
So Free Guy 2 is in the works. We've been honest about that. There's like 3 or 4 other movies that are also in the works that we haven't announced, because now that we're basically veterans of the industry, we know that it's not that big a deal to get a splashy article about something you're developing, when we now know that 80% of what we develop never gets made. So we're kind of toiling quietly on the side, developing a few different scripts, and we will make next the one that is ready first.
I do love, how original you've been able to get, but I have to wonder, you mentioned this, there's the mention of the lightsaber in the Adam Project. Also in Free Guy. I think in Stranger Things, there's some Star Wars mentions too. I have to wonder what seeds you might be planting. I'm thinking Shawn Levy is interested in the Star Wars project.
I've made that clear for years. So Star Wars is pretty busy making their Disney Plus series now, and movies, I'm sure, in the future. But look, those movies were formative for me. They were an obsession for me. That is hardly original. But whether or not I make an actual Star Wars story ever, those influences and that legacy, that cinematic legacy, is always with me, like the Force, and always going to be evident in my work.
Is there something specific you would love to do? Like if you wanted to put it out in the universe, in the galaxy?
I appreciate that. I certainly find both the Star Wars and Marvel universes compelling. It would have to be the right moment, the right story, but those would definitely be tantalizing opportunities. And other than that, I have to say, I really want to keep making movies that refuse to be only one thing, that are a hybrid of heart and laughter and spectacle, because those are my favorite kinds of movies. They don't get made that often anymore. And I feel really lucky that I've been able to make 2 in a row that are also original. And I don't ever take that for granted either.
I want to ask you really quick, Stranger Things season 4, we know, is the beginning of the end. Devastated, but
that face emoji.
But why is now the right time to start to bring this story to a close and wind it down?
Well, we never wanted to run on fumes, and we wanted to only tell as much story as the brothers saw and feel with clarity. And so it's been clear for a while that they know exactly where we're headed. And this is the arc. And we wouldn't want to stick around for one moment beyond that vision and the clarity of that voice. So rather than focusing on that sad day that happened who knows when, the end of season 5, I'll just once again reaffirm what I've told everyone, which is it has been a long ass wait for season 4, but I swear to God, the world will realize it's worth it.
Yeah, that trail. I mean, the teaser we got was pretty bitchin', if I have to say.
Just wait. I've seen what you're all going to see next. Just wait.
Oh, such a good tease. How did you end up in the All Too Well short film? I've been watching that nonstop.
I know. I literally, nothing I will ever do will cement my dad legend status more than my Taylor Swift video cameo. We have a lot of people in common. And literally, when the video came out and I was asked to do a bunch of interviews, I said to Ryan, I'm like, do I explain how it came to be? He's like, it's cooler if you say less. So I'm going to go with what my social media and culture advisor, Ryan Reynolds, tells me. And I'm going to keep it a little cryptic, a little mysterious. And I will just say that day shooting with Taylor was a blast. And if it made me just a little bit of a legend in the eyes of my 4 daughters, it will have been well worth it. I
can't leave without asking about Walker, because he took on Ryan Reynolds almost as well as Ryan Reynolds. He was so fantastic. Can you just talk about finding him and how, oh God, he was fantastic.
Well, we talked about Stranger Things. I feel like the defining choice I made early, and it was one of the first things I did as the director on Adam Project, is I hired Carmen Cuba. She cast Stranger Things. She is a Jedi master at finding new, undiscovered young talent. Yep, bringing it back. And so I knew she would, if anyone could find this 1 in a billion miracle, it would be Carmen. She found this kid, Walker. We knew Walker was super real, authentic, talented. What I didn't know is he's a Ryan Reynolds super fan. And he has literally studied the Deadpool movies to the point of recital. So he has been channeling Ryan for years before he met Ryan and for years before he was asked to play Ryan.
Damn. Well, you are awesome. It's so great to always talk to you. Such a pleasure. Congrats on the film.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye-bye.